We had a lot of snow last night, and I have to get out of here pretty early. In 2022, we bought an old resort on 6 acres of land on the Wisconsin River. It has a number of structures, including 2 cabins, in various states of disrepair. Our goal was to get cabin number 1 up and rentable as soon as possible without hemorrhaging too much money. It had no septic and wasn't winter worthy, so our goal beginning in the spring of 2023 was to put in septic and a real bathroom, winterproof the cabin and well house, shore up the aging foundation, and do some light remodeling to make the cabin more livable. Of course, things didn't exactly go as planned. I had 10 days in the spring of 2023 to finish demo and frame up the bathroom. The first thing we did was tear out the old bathroom and the bedroom wall. Once I got into the floor, I could see that the beams and joists of the cabin were made from rough timber. The old drain for the sinks and shower was rusted out and leaking, and presumably just drained into the ground. Love the old wood substructure on the wall of the kitchen, so I decided to free that up and leave it exposed. I shored up the structure of the floor, then put in removable subfloor panels. I installed a heater, fan, light, and finished the framing. Ended up doing a few things I hadn't planned on doing, which is getting some lights in the living room here, some ceiling lights, and in the bedroom. And so I just got a lot of the electric hooked up today. Now that I'm all squeaky clean, it's time for a little bit of whiskey in this ice storm out on the dock. There's some bald eagles, a couple juveniles, a couple adults hanging around. Beautiful. Thunder. It was a fitful night of sleep, occasionally hearing trees exploding from the weight of the wet snow. I've got to shovel the road. I don't know, 100 yards or so. So I don't think the Prius C is gonna make it. Oh, look at that. Glad I didn't park right there. This is gonna be a good workout. Well, that's a pretty good day's work before breakfast. But I wasn't done yet. I had to shovel again before the little Prius could get enough traction to blast out of there. In early June, my buddy Eric and I road tripped back to Wisconsin from Colorado in his work van with a stop to visit his parents in Iowa. When we got to the cabin, the first order of business was to hook up a temporary supply line to the well. Boats everywhere. The old decor was very nautically themed. All going in the garage. Our first tenant had already moved in, but the little red squatting squirrel was living rent-free, so we had to evict him. I added some flashing to shore up the roof. To keep the traps under the bathroom from freezing, we enclosed and insulated the crawl space.
Yeah. I think getting out is part of it too. Oh, that's... This is my favorite place. I got a new happy place. Is underneath the cabin. It has 18 inches of headroom.
Yeah. Well, especially the fact that it's wet.
I might sleep down here tonight.
And there's lots of mosquitoes. We're gonna be taking showers soon. I almost didn't make it under this beam. I probably gained a couple pounds yesterday with the amazing, delicious cookies that our neighbor Diane brought over. This is how the Romans must have felt when they got their aqueducts all together, and we'll see if this works. This is our temporary gray water pit. There it is. So our next puzzle is to figure out how to get water into the house without it freezing in the winter. In the past, all they did was we would drain everything here and just not use water in the winter. Well, so what we're going to do is we're going to insulate and heat this little thing. We're going to go down as far as we can, probably hitting the water table with our supply, and then insulate the heck out of that, and then come up into the house with a bunch of insulation around our pipes and have the little heater going in here. I worked outside while Eric built an insulated pit coming into the house. Below grade here. 40 inches below grade, a little insulation over the top, and we should be good. This is my sweet setup on the porch. Got our little coffee table, space heater, bathroom floor, shower. Eric, things, tools slowly impinging and supplies on our space. Shit everywhere. But it's all part of the process, I say. It's gonna be pretty sweet soon. See, we do the dishes. Making a box. Meanwhile, we still had to bathe and, well, wash our clothes in the river. That was a great free workout. The well guys advised me to simply run 1-inch PEX in the water table, then put insulation over it and bury it. I put a second layer of insulation down, then buried the pipe and added 2 dedicated circuits, one for the pump and one for a GFCI. Then I insulated the lid and walls of the well house. It's a big spider. Meanwhile, Eric finished up the insulated conduit coming into the house. We finished plumbing, insulation, and structure in the bathroom.
I'm hoping to get the shower installed today. Lord knows I could use a good shower.
Oh!
Just pretend like that was the first time.
Yep.
As we all know, Rhinelander is well known for its tuna steaks. It's going right by the dock. My good buddy Eric just left this morning. He was a huge help. All right, this is one of those conundra that you run into on these kind of jobs. Well, I want to put the shower walls in. First I got to put some studs in there, but then I realized if I'm switching the kitchen around, I need to get some electric over here in this wall. And so that means I need to figure out how exactly I want to configure the kitchen, or at least get a basic idea of it. Like, where's my stove going to go? Is it going to go on this side or that side? And then I have to get this baseboard up, but the baseboard is stuck behind the floor. Basically, it's going to take a little while before I get my shower. I just pressurized the tank, hopefully. And now I'm going to turn the water on, and we're going to see if all these connections hold. Let's do it. Whoa! Okay, easy. Whoa. Oh, I guess you got to turn that off. That's one thing. It's a filter. What else is still turned on? Okay, there goes that filter. There goes that filter. And once that fills up, we're going into the hot water heater. We're good there. This carpet is a gem. It's the grandma's doing some work. These guys told me I had a lifetime warranty on these, but when I sent them in, they said, oh, no, that's just regular wear and tear. Okay, well, what the hell does lifetime warranty mean? Lifetime warranty, just make sure you have plenty of duct tape. It's my work shoes, man.
In the kitchen, the first order of business was to get my sink operational again.
Kind of working.
I'm pretty excited. I'm about to take my first shower here at the cabin. The gaggle is upon us.
I walked outside today and it smelled like burning plastic, and I thought, oh my gosh, did the neighbor's house burn down or something? And then I remembered, yeah, it's probably the fires in Canada, and sure enough, I looked at the map and we're in an unhealthy zone right now, and you can tell.
I bought wood cabinets, but I wanted to do funky counters. So I used pieces of the old cabinets, as well as other furniture from the barn. My family finally joined me, and we continued to enjoy beautiful meals on the wood-fired grill. Zula was hoping for something a little more exotic. Our squatter returned, but not for long. Between my spring and summer visits, the ground under the cabin had dropped several inches as it thawed. This, plus the fact that it seems to be sitting in a bowl, convinced me that I needed to not only shore up the foundation, but also insulate it against freezing and grade the ground to drain away from the house. Not only will this keep the ground under the cabin from continually heaving, it will also keep the cabin warmer. Ultimately, though, we may need to do some more robust structural fortification, including potentially lifting the entire cabin. I have a fairly high level of stress right now, and it kind of makes me, sometimes question what the hell I was thinking, taking on a project like this when I'm actually trying to wind property management things down in my life. But I just arrived here from our other cottage across the river and stepped out of the car, and it was just so peaceful here, and it just reminded me of why we got this property, and I'm still truly excited to get these little cabins to be usable and aesthetically awesome again. So I still have a lot of enthusiasm for this project, as daunting as it is. But I'm stoked about this flooring, and today's a big day because I'm hoping to get it all in and start getting the trim in, and maybe even the bathroom sink. I'm mad because phase 1 is pretty much done on the cabin here, and I'll give you a little tour. We didn't do much on the porch here, just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Also just kind of cleaned up in the living room and bedroom, exposed this old crazy carpet that I cleaned up, and I think it looks pretty good, pretty retro. There used to be a wall here separating the bedroom from the living area here, and the door to it was actually over here, because the bathroom started about, I don't know, over there somewhere. It was a very tiny bathroom without a toilet. One of the big things we did was add this bathroom with a toilet, which we can't use yet because we don't have the septic in. So we've been using the privy. And it's a pretty tight bathroom, but it's a pretty tight cottage. And of course we added the mini split here, which is going to be the main source of heat. We will have some backup in case this doesn't cut it when it gets to -10 for multiple days in a row. We're going to have a little washing machine / dryer that goes right there. One of the unexpected changes that we did here was we rearranged the whole kitchen. My buddy Eric suggested that we move the sink to an inside wall so we didn't have to worry about pipes freezing. A brilliant idea. And so I moved the sink here from here, and moved the fridge here from over there. And we moved the stove over there from, where was it? Here, where the sink is. There were a few whimsical things that I did in here, which is kind of my MO. And one was to expose this old wall. It was the old sheathing, I guess. And I wanted to keep the character of it. And then I added some little needlepoint from our extensively stocked garage out there. I also built these countertops out of the old cabinets, and so you can kind of see that they have the old paint and just all the character of decades of use. And I used a little bit of the broken furniture from the barn to build this countertop here. There's two different pieces. I think the thing I'm most excited about is the countertop on this side, because it is made from an old children's dresser that I had at our other cottage that I had saved. And so you can see this was the top of it, and it was falling apart. And then this is one of the sides, and it's got a little zebra on it, and just all the crackling paint. And I even used the drawer front, which has a couple little cartoony animals on it. The other side of the dresser had this little horse and some beautiful crackle paint. To seal this all in, I used a 2-part pouring epoxy. I finished the cabinets with a blue stain and got mismatched handles from Restore. The septic finally went in after I left, and we got the place rented to a visiting professor through the fall. The little cabin weathered its first winter without any issues with the well or the heating. In 2024, we decided on a name, Fernwood, and I made a sign. Later, we replaced the inefficient propane fireplace with an electric fireplace. It is now being managed as a short and medium-term rental. If you'd like to book a stay at Fernwood, I'll provide a link in the description.
We were walking on this ice a week ago. We walked way down the river. And actually, Hollis and I both fell in right here where it's really shallow.